Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all new Too Spooky for Me readings. I'm your host, Robot,
And I'm your other host, Ninja.
and today we'll be reading two stories. The first one's called The Cat and the Hat Strikes Back, and the other one is called The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, episode 66. So with the Cat and the Hat Strikes Back, we're going to try keeping commentary to a low because it's a very special story. It's all told in rhyme, and Ninja will be reading it. So if he fucks up, you can blame him.
You forgot the beep.
All right. If Ninja beeps up, you can blame him.
That's not exactly okay. Whatever. Okay. So I guess here we go, guys. Yeah. The Cat in the Hat Strikes Back. Chapter 1. The sun did not shine, it was too wet to play, so she sat in the house all that cold, cold, wet day. She just sat in a chair all alone by herself, as she watched the paint dry on her brand new bookshelf. Too wet to go out, and too cold to play ball, as she sat in the house and did nothing at all. And then something went bump. How that bump made her jump. She looked, then she saw him stepping on that mat. I messed up. She looked, and she saw him, the cat in the hat, and he said to her, "Why do you sit there like that? I know it is wet and the sun is not sunny, but we can have lots of good fun that is funny. I know some good games we could play," said the cat. "I know some good tricks," said the cat in the hat. "A lot of good tricks. I will show them to you. Your mother would not mind at all if I do." She sat there, and she did not know what to say. Her mother was out of the house for the day. But her fish said, "No, no, make that cat go away. Tell that cat in the hat you did not want to play. He should not be here, he should not be about, he should not be here when your mother is out. Now, now, have no fear," said the cat. "My tricks are not bad," said the cat in the hat. "Why, we can have lots of good fun if you wish, with a game that I call Let's Get Rid of the Fish." Oh, this just took a turn. Then the cat chased the fish until she was caught, and the fish hit the cat in the head with a pot. "Stop," yelled the girl, "you do not have to fight. Either leave her alone or you're leaving, all right?" said the cat. "I'll let the fish be. Besides, there is something I want you to see." And then he ran out, and then fast as a whirl, the cat in the hat came back in with the girl. She was a cute girl with eyes that shone bright, with a sweatshirt and jeans and teeth that shone white. Then he introduced her with the tip of his hat. "Here's someone I'd like you to meet," said the cat. "She's a sweet little girl. I will show to you now." And the girl gave a twirl as the cat took a bow. Or I guess a bow would technically be how
Bow.
that is.
That's the rhyme, dude. Come on.
Yeah. Now, bow, bow. I don't think bow rhyme. Bow, whatever. A bow. Sorry, guys. Here, here's a sweet little girl, and she wants to play. She can bring you some fun on this cold, cold, wet day. She is just like you are, and I call her Thing One. Would you like to shake hands? I'm sure you'll have fun. She was so bored, and she needed some fun, so she went to shake hands with this thing called Thing One. Was the girl called Thing One?
Mm.
um, and as they shook hands, her poor fish said, "No, no, these two should not be in the house. Make them go. They should not be here when your mother is out. No, they should not be here when your mother is not. Put them out," said the fish with the pot. "Have no fear, little fish," said the cat in the hat, "for she's a good thing," and he gave her a pat. "She is tame, oh so tame. She has come here to play. She will give you some fun on this wet, wet, wet day." "Now why don't you two go and play?" said the cat. "Just be on your way," said the cat in the hat. "No, no, do not go," said the fish with the pot. "Do not leave me alone with this cat. You cannot. Oh, I do not like cats. They scare me, I admit. Oh, I do not like this, not one little bit." But she went anyway. She ran down the hall, with Thing One hand in hand. They went to play dolls. Hand in hand they went to play dolls down the hall. I'm just gonna assume that she becomes Thing Two, and that's where this whole creepypasta
Oh,
goes.
dude, that's yeah.
Assumption though, we'll see. And man, this is really hard to read. It's so too much.
Speaking rhymes. No.
I applaud them already for like this is pretty good rhyming, honestly, in
Yeah.
terms of being written. Anyways, here we go. And left in the room was the fish and the cat. The fish was the cat. Well, she did not like that. The fish was afraid of the cat in the hat. He looked like a cat, but he smelled like a rat. The cat said to the fish with a gleam in his eyes, "You know we cats eat fish. This fact can't be denied." The fish shook with fear as she attempted to run. "But it's just thing ones that want to have fun." Oh, but it's not just thing ones that want to have fun. The cat won in the end. The fish was no more. Well, she didn't put up much of a fight. What a bore. Then who should come back but the girl and Thing One? And the cat in the hat asked, "Did you two have fun?" "We did," said Thing One, "but now she's dried out. She's no fun any more," said Thing One with a pout. "Well, that's the entire idea," said the cat. "Now you'll take her place," said the cat in the hat. "We'll go house to house all over the world, taking the life force of each boy and girl. While their parents are gone and it's too wet to play, we will show up and take them away. The best time to drain them is when they're having fun. Then they'll all be replaced with Thing Twos and Thing Ones." "Now take her outside," said the cat to Thing One. "Soon she'll be nothing, just beams in the sun. Then come back inside, there's work to be done. We've so much to do, we've only begun." Thing One went outside, the girl trailing behind, lifeless and slow, not a thought in her mind. Then the cat said, "What fun, so much fun to be done, when the world is made up of Thing Twos and Thing Ones. No more boring kids just moping about, for my things will find fun, of this I've no doubt." Thing One came back in the clothes of the girl. "Are you ready to take her place in this world?" The new girl gave a nod, and the cat said, "Then that's that." And then he was gone with a tip of his hat. So she sat in the chair all alone by herself, as she watched the paint dry on her brand new bookshelf. When her mother came in, she said, "What did you do?" Well, what would you do if your mother asked you? What would you do, guys?
10 out of 10 creepypasta.
Honestly, yeah. I think it was original, well written.
It was original. I'm confused how they drained the life energy out of people, but I'll
Yeah.
let that one slip. I'll let that slide because it's just so.
Overall, I think it was well written
It
in
was
the Dr. Seuss
amazing.
style.
I mean, sure, I don't know. I don't really know if it counts as a creepypasta, but
Yeah. It's an entertaining story.
it's just entertainment.
And it totally drained me with all that rhyming.
Ha, they drained you of your fun.
LOL.
Your thing one.
And you're about to become thing two.
Yeah. Oh, boo hoo.
So overall, I say this is one of the best. Forget the rest.
Now let's put that theory to the test as we read The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, episode 66. Already the title.
Yeah, if only I had another 600 in there, then yeah,
Yeah.
whatever. It'd be two.
Can anyone help me out here? I'm looking for a lost episode of The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm sure some of you remember. If you're from the northern part of Virginia and watched the show, you may have seen this.
You know who else is from the northern part of Virginia and might have seen the show?
Chris Chandler.
Chris Chandler.
I
Alright.
first recall seeing this episode when I was 8. It was episode 66.
Sorry,
There
guys.
was only one season, and it only aired in Northern Virginia as the broadcasting station had ignored the notice not to play the final episode of the bundle due to its extreme adult content.
Okay, that's just
I
dumb.
call BS on that.
Wait, yeah, who would send adult content in their cartoon? Like, lawsuits and stuff happens, guys.
Well, it's like, why would you send this whole thing, and then you're like, oh wait, we don't want you to play that one, but we're gonna send it to you
Yeah.
anyway. This was the station's voice, as it had purchased the syndication rights for the area, but concerned parents later sued them
There we go. What did I just say?
after several children came down with light neural hemorrhaging
Yeah, it's really misspelled.
haging had caused severe nightmares and vomiting. Uh, Here's the thing though, if there were some lawsuits, where's the proof of that?
Yeah, can I just Google this and find out if it's true or
Nah,
not?
dude, it's a creepypasta. Shut up.
You just questioned it.
Shut up. You gotta suspense this, please. Viewing this episode killed no one, and older viewers. Well, I didn't think it would, so you know. And older viewers seemed immune to the effects of whatever caused the bleeding, but needless to say, a freeze was put on production and was hushed up on the news because, you know, once your series
Oh.
is canceled, you're frozen on production. I mean, it was the last episode.
Yeah, anyway, so.
The show was replaced by the series simply named Sonic the Hedgehog. I started my
Yeah.
search for the episode after the nightmares from watching the episode returned after 16 years. The nightmares were vivid because, you know, 16 years and all, you know. They contained visions of people in a long line, all of them clutching their faces in despair. The people in this line spread the full length of the street and all had seemingly abandoned their cars to join the others waiting.
I mean, it would have been nice if he at least mentioned what the episode was first.
No, yeah, he's just talking about his dream.
Yeah, his flashback from when he saw the episode, but I don't really know what he saw.
No, I think
So,
he's describing the episode.
oh, we'll
But
see
his
where it goes.
dream, yeah. Everything had a dark red tone because blood, like the sun was burning out the sunset, but really it's blood, guys. But never fully went down. Those that weren't in the line littered the streets, dead. I can't recall much of the dream beyond hints of looting, things like a line of dead riot police, smashed windows, a collapsed skyscraper in the distance, and upturned cars. But no one in the line paid attention to this. They simply sobbed as the line shifted forward.
Now, see, this ain't the episode description yet. It's like, even if this was the episode, this is like so random for
Yeah, that
Sonic.
doesn't really make sense.
But again, Sonic the Hedgehog creepypasta is
The
random.
nightmare ended with one of the members of the line looking directly at me. He said nothing, but okay, so this is the dream. What does this have to do with anything? I don't know. But shifted to an unnatural pose, his arms bent at a 45 degrees angles, okay, and his legs spread into a box over the ground, his mouth agape.
Okay.
Agape. As he did this, the rest of the people in the line did the same, striking a slightly different twisted pose. All were looking at me. I awoke with tears in my eyes.
No, it's tears.
No, it's tears.
That'd be more
Oh,
creepy.
yeah. My logical step to finding this episode lies was the station that originally aired it. I mean, did you try the internet? You know?
I think we got YouTube. We got.
YouTube.
I don't want to mention anything else might be illegal, so we'll leave it at
There's
that.
nothing odd about the station. Its old management has long since moved on. Committed suicide. What?
That's so random.
Okay. It's like in quotes.
Yeah, it's like, they have since moved on and then just right in your face
Committed
committed
as the
suicide.
new manager pointed out to me. Okay. I don't know if they're just allowed to share that information, but sure. Over a cup of coffee, the new manager and I discussed the station's past. I initially eased into the subject of the lost episode, and as it turned out, I was right to do so. When I brought it up, John, as he will now be known, literally
Uh
spilled his
huh.
coffee on his lap.
Literally, guys. He literally did
One
that.
thing that bothers me in creepypastas is like when they have to like point out they're using fake names. It's like if you just use the person's first
Yeah.
name, I wouldn't even know the name was real.
Yeah, it's a very pointless thing to
Yeah,
go
it's a
about.
pointless thing to point out. Like there's classic.
You can use any name and I wouldn't even know it's a real
Yeah, it's
person.
like Sonic.exe. They use Tom and Kyle, and it's like there's no reason to point that out. But anyways, that's has nothing to do with this. He told me the subject was a personal one to him, as it turns out. John was the original owner's son, conveniently. He was kind enough to explain to me that the legal fees he was receiving in conjunction with the mail he was receiving from children and parents alike had pushed him too far, and he hung himself in the family kitchen.
Uh huh.
A likely story? Can I see any of this on the internet? I was a little taken back by the news, so I figured I was digging too deep and decided to drop this madness. Maybe call it a day, because once things get too serious, I'm a quitter. Before I could exit John's office, he told me he would send me the mail. His reasoning? He wanted me to know what happened. I don't know why he does, though. I mean, you're kind of just some random kid on the street, but okay. His curiosity was almost as deep as mine, which wasn't surprising considering this episode killed his father.
I think his father killed himself,
Yeah.
but we'll ignore that.
His father killed himself because of the episode, but sure. I told him I'd take a deep. I told him I'd look take. I told him I'd take a look deeper into the subject and get back to him on anything I dug up.
So he's just trusting random dude.
Yeah, to figure out like why
The,
his father killed himself. Okay. The letters were as one would expect. Angry mothers asking what kind of station would air such filth, legal fees ranging in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, enough to send any station broke in the 90s or in the or really any era, sure.
yeah, if you're not a big station, that's enough to screw you.
Especially if it's like a local station, yeah. And of course, drawings from children depicting scenes of the episode. They were things, not think,
They were things, guys,
like the
things.
blood and unusually dull colors that persisted throughout the horrible things, such as Robotnik vomiting blood and tails crying over the corpse of a feathered headless bird.
Sounds normal to
Beautiful
me.
imagery, guys. One letter, however, caught my attention specifically. It was a letter from the studio that produced the series. Thank you for purchasing the rights to air The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Copyright Sega 1933-1934. All rights reserved.
90, dude.
1993-1994. That's what I said.
Oh, I heard 30. My bad.
All rights reserved. Enclosed is the series list, episode descriptions, and episodes 1 to 66, the entirety of season 1, and legal information regarding ratings and airtimes. And
Well, that was a lot of info.
yeah, and it has in poor handwriting at the bottom of the page, a scroll note was placed with words, "Episode 66 is to not be aired. This
Then
is a
why?
database error and contains corrupted material." The initials J as follow. Then why would you send it? This
Yeah,
is this doesn't make sense. It's kind of like they wanted them to air it.
I don't understand they put it in there and just for the lows wanted them to air it, but they wouldn't tell them ahead of time, kind of thing.
Yeah, I set out to find this episode, but to no avail. My second plan was to ask the people who sent the angry letters about the episode about their take on it. Those who had not moved away since then gave me the canned,
I don't know.
"I don't know," or "not this again" responses, but I did chance upon one man around my age that remembers and taped the episode.
Just one guy. Just one guy taped it.
Yeah, dude, it's not like people had like no, not DVR, what do you call it?
Tape recorders?
Yeah, sure. He invited me in and showed me his VHS copy because, people always allow strangers in their houses
And here's a VHS copy.
just lying around,
For those of you that aren't aware, VHS was like a format we had before Blu-ray and DVDs were a
Yeah,
thing.
you remember that thing, that black thing you saw in the every lost episode, every CreepyPasta
Yeah.
skit? Yeah, that's a VHS. It was badly decayed from the years of neglect in his garbage, though. And what?
Garbage.
Oh, his garbage. I mean, garage would have been funnier though, and I could only make out a few bits. Tell screaming at Sonic with tears in his eyes. How could you, Sonic? Like, how could you, Sonic? What have you done? The rest of the episode was static, with the occasional scream and twisted figures. Not animals or people, but figures staring at the viewer with their circular mouths and open black eyes emitting at a slight screech. The tape sent chills up my spine, and I asked if I could take the tape for research I was doing into the episode. He agreed quite readily and promised to keep him updated about it. I took the tape back to John, and we watched it for about 15 minutes until John jumped back in his seat. He told me he saw the figure with black eyes, but it spoke for a brief moment. He claimed he saw his lip move, mouthing a word he thought was eternity. We watched the episode once. We watched that same 1 second flash for what must have been 30 seconds, and each time we both attempted to freeze the frame on the figure, it disappeared when the video paused. I called it a day there because, once things get serious, I'm a quitter. We needed a better copy of the episode if we were to. Okay, so wait. So it's like, he finds it, right? But
And then
it's still not enough for
yeah,
him. He needs, like, the 1080p version, dude.
that's not even real.
Yeah. If we were to find out why it ended the entire series, and no, you don't, you have it right here. It caused me nightmares for much of my childhood.
Yeah, I think this is more than enough proof.
Yeah. Short of traveling. Now, actually, I think I kind of know what he's talking about. Like, see, he mentions, I think he assumes it's badly damaged because, like, the tape was in, like, his garage the whole time, right? But, see, that doesn't make sense because it mentioned in that note that, it's a database error and, like, episode 66 is
Yeah,
just corrupted
so
anyway.
it's already corrupted.
So it's like he missed that whole thing, and like,
He's a bad
yeah,
detective.
he couldn't even figure that out. Anyways, short of for traveling to France, because people just can travel all over the world apparently.
Mr. Detective can.
Yeah, I gave them a call. They bumped me to.
And talking to the animation studio.
Oh right, yeah, it's just something anyone can do, dude. They bluntly told me there was no episode 66. 65 was the last episode of the season. Knowing this was a dead end, I called again and asked for the contact information of the voice actors. Most of the information was out of date. It seemed the information given for the voice actors of Robot Brotnik, Scratch, Grounder, and Sonic all gave number non-service errors, or people told me I had the wrong number. However, I did manage to contact one person. We all know who voices Sonic. Just saying, it would have been really easy to find them. Christopher Elvin Welch was the voice of Tails.
Out of all the characters, you had to get
Yeah,
Tails.
dude, you could have called Jaleel White, dude. Come on, man.
Another thing, it's just a cartoon, man. Let it
You could
go.
have called Urkel. I managed to hook him I managed to hook him for a fake interview about his roles in 90s television. As you would expect, Chris turned up wearing casual clothing and a smile on his face. He looked like the average guy in his late 20s. As he sat down, asked about some of his roles in bands and television, working my way to Sonic. When I did get there, however, he got really quiet and evasive. I asked him specifically about episode 66, and he froze. His pupils almost retracted to nothing.
Pupils.
His pupils
There we
almost
go.
retracted to nothing, and he looked at me, telling me the episodes only went up to 65. Now, see, remember the whole database error thing? It's
Yeah.
like no one would know about it because it was just corrupted footage, assumingly of just stuff from the main series.
They wouldn't even consider it a real
Yeah,
episode.
it's just, you know.
So I guess it kind of makes
But
sense.
I mean, it's like you would think, the actors wouldn't really know about it because, they
Yeah.
had no involvement. I knew better, of course, and asked him about his script, where he was talking to Sonic about something he had done. The man grabbed his face, not out of frustration, but to wipe his eyes. They were beginning to well up. He took a
Yep.
deep breath.
Welling. They welled up. Not. They didn't swell.
Yeah, they welled up,
I'm just
dude.
saying that's a weird way to put it.
He told me the episode was written by Jeffrey Scott, so you want to send your angry comments into him, okay? And the usual spiel that follows. Jeffrey was a nice man and was very patient. Was very patient.
was.
Yeah, was Chris as he read the script, being 11 at the time.
Wait. He was 11 in the 90s, and he's in his late 20s now.
Well, we didn't
It's
really
like,
get
well,
a
I guess
date when this is all
that's
taking
true.
place.
I mean,
I mean, is this all taking place in a empty void that time doesn't exist, or logic? The voice actors. Wait.
I mean, I guess it's not fair because we're reading the story, now. I don't know when the story was written.
But as the first season drew to a close, Jeffrey had become very angry with everyone, even 11-year-old Chris. The voice actors for Robotnik and Sonic threatened to quit over his behavior, but the executive producer paid them both very large sums of cash
That's how you do it.
in hand right there to read from the script. Jeffrey had written apparently. Jeffrey had written. Apparently, Jeffrey had ordered from high up the top of Sega as far as Chris knew at the time to produce this episode because that makes sense. It was listed as a business priority. Chris explained to me how, as they read the script, he felt great sorrow and terror. It was as if they had lost a close friend or family member, even seen those people die before them. He told me of the scarring to his vocal cords from the screaming that was invoked by reading the script, even the extreme exhaustion of the other voice actors involved. The session ended with the security pulling the voice actors from the studio before things went even worse. Even his mother pulled him from the show the next day, even though, the series was cancelled, but sure, fearing for his safety. I stopped the interview there and asked for the copy of the episode, but none were ever sent back to the voice actors. That is as far as I've come to the search for episode 66. I've heard there may be a copy in the studio in France, but I have no way of getting there on my budget. But you
There we
wait,
go.
wait, he was in France.
No, he said short of doing that, he didn't actually do it.
Well, I know it exists, and many more people out there must have a VHS copy. So that's why I asked the internet. Help me in my search, please. So,
All right, guys, there you go. Look for the lost episode of Sonic the
dude,
Hedgehog,
it's on YouTube.
episode 60. Well, never mind. It's on
Yeah, dude,
YouTube.
it's on YouTube.
We found it together,
Don't
guys.
worry, we'll
Yay.
be reacting to it next week.
We'll see how that
Just
goes
kidding.
if we get to
Yeah,
it.
if we get to it, no, actually, that
And
wouldn't be a
if
bad idea.
and if we don't, it's because the episode killed us.
Yeah, if we like stop uploading after that, then yeah, we died.
So you can try looking for our lost tape and then write a story about it.
Yeah, you can try searching for it. Honestly, I thought the story was okay.
It dragged on though.
Like, there's a bunch of like logical errors, but like the episode itself wasn't that cliched. Even though we barely even got to hear anything about it.
I mean, he mentions how he saw it before, but he couldn't tell me anything about it.
Besides that Tails sequence,
Yeah, which is like, come on, man.
the story was more focused more on the search.
To search for what he saw but forgot, kind
Yeah,
of.
but overall, it's probably the best thing we read on this channel. And I mean
Uh,
like not ironically good, like Russian Crash Bandicoot or that Cat in the House thing,
to
cat
me, this was just generic.
or the Cat in the Hat Strikes Back, which will forever be the best creepypasta ever.
Overall, though, don't forget to hit that like button.
And that subscribe button. And this is Robot Ninja Paradise, and we're
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 out.
just done, man. Yeah.
Yeah.